On Monday, June 10th, 2002, 30 people from all over Britain met for the first time in London. They'd given up their jobs, their homes, and said goodbye to loved ones. Because for the next year, they were to be the stars of a new Channel 4 reality TV show. But they were soon to discover that reality played little part in the show. This is the story of the contestants, and of the man who tricked them.
I saw an advertisement in the stage newspaper which read, do you want to raise your profile? New reality TV show needs contestants, £100,000 if successful. So I thought, I'll have a bit of that.
I saw this in the Just a Job section of the Evening Standard. I thought, this is a good idea. Make some quick money.
Someone approached me with a flyer about this reality TV show and said, you want to travel around the world, earn £100,000. And so I said to my friend for a laugh, I'm going to do it actually.
Their applications were to be sent to a production company called NRP and to producer Nik Russian.
What appealed to you about it?
To be honest, the money, just the money. And the fact that it may have opened other windows for me in the future.
For many of the contestants, Nik Russian's show offered something more than money. It offered television stardom.
I just thought it would be fun, to be on reality TV, sort of, I've always had an interest in media.
I would have got the taste that I needed of fame. If I didn't like the, stories and all the rest of it and the camera, the public eye, then I could have just taken my money and run.
This was an opportunity for me to develop my career in a very exciting way. I thought I was going to be a presenter on TV.
Successful applicants were invited to auditions on a private island on the Thames. From the moment they arrived, the cameras were rolling. What follows here and throughout the programme is the footage Nik Russian's team shot.
Could we use one of them?
As I arrived, there was cameras everywhere and we were all signing contracts as to say that whatever footage was done that day, basically they could use it in the programme. And there was about 30 of us that were auditioning that morning. And that was Nik and about 15 members of crew. Everyone at the auditions looked great. I mean, all the crew were dressed the same with, crew badges and names and things. And all really professionally done, so.
There was actually people psychoanalyzing you at the time or, sitting down taking notes on how you were interacting with people.
Because I'd had an audition, a couple of auditions for Big Brother, it seemed to mirror what I did when I turned up for that. So I felt quite comfortable there.
It just looked real.
Yeah, can we have...
The setup looked highly professional, but it was the producer, Nik Russian, who most impressed the contestants.
He had a very big I am air about him, He sort of walked around with his clipboard under his arm and he sort of strutted his stuff and he was a presence.
Nik ran the whole show, setting the contestants' psychological and practical tests.
I'll leave you once I've given you the challenge, which is simply in an hour I need to see a cake from you people.
A cake.
Off you go.
Not allowed to simply buy a cake, they have to make it. So, in search of ingredients and a kitchen, they set off with a cameraman for the mainland.
We need to get into someone's house and get eggs ingredients.
Okay. Yeah. A big house. This looks like a big house.
Sorry to bother you.
Sorry to bother you. We're from a TV show and we need to make a cake.
Within an hour?
Within an hour we've been given a task and we're wondering if you could help us out at all, please.
Please.
Make a cake.
And I said to her, well, do you know what we need to make a sponge cake? And she said, yeah, 2 eggs. And I said, would you have that by any chance?
That's the sugar, flour and fat.
Can I give you that for your trouble? Thank you very much. You don't want to cook it for us?
We can give you £20.
We'll give you £20.
Oh no, I'd give you £20 to cook it.
To go away. Okay, all right, thank you very much for your trouble. Bye.
Bye-bye.
As we stepped out of the lady's place who gave us the ingredients, we saw this young lady walking down the streets. We've accosted her and said, oh, please, we're from a TV show. Please, can we bake a cake in your kitchen? And amazingly, she just said, yeah, why not? And she took us all back to her flat and she had 14 of us, bless her, cooking.
Oven on.
Thank you! Run, everyone!
Oh, a muffin cake from Swindle.
Sneak a peek of our cake.
Oh, it smells nice.
It smells divine. Doesn't it smell nice, cameraman?
Yeah, it does the cameraman as well, so we're there. If we failed, then it's all a big farce.
It's just so much fun. I thought if the show is anything like this, I'm just going to be over the moon, and it's for a year, you know.
A month later, the chosen few received the email they'd been dreaming of.
I was in work and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my gosh, you know.
I don't think I slept for about 48 hours thinking that I was going away for a year, anywhere in the world, all paid for, and getting to meet people that I've probably never dreamed of meeting.
Everybody around me just had this buzz as well, like, I can feel it, you've got it, you know, this is it for you now, girl, this is it.
The contestants were deluged with paperwork, which promised accommodation and food as well as the chance to win £100,000. There were to be 3 contracts to sign and special T-shirts to wear. There was even to be a champagne media launch. The contestants were told to organise their affairs. They had just 1 frantic month to put their lives on hold for a year.
You had to give up your work, you had to give up your accommodation, so I had to give up the room that I rented.
I sold my furniture, I sold my guitar amps because I was going away for a year, so I had no need for them.
£80 for a medical certificate, travel insurance is, you know, up to sometimes, you know, depending on where you looked, it could be £200 to £400 for the year.
There was a rucksack that I bought at an Army Navy store. There were sleeping bags that I had to bring.
Just preparing yourself for a year away from your family and stuff as well is, you know, quite difficult.
I had a separate, like, leaving party for my family, my auntie, my uncles. I had 5 cousins, they all come round, and everyone was just like, what are you going to be doing? This was on the Friday, I was going on the following Monday, and everyone's just like, oh, just so excited to find out what I'd be doing, and everyone's like, oh, you're crazy, but, you know, you've only got one life, you've got to live it to the full, and this could be, you know, take you anywhere, it's just going to change you as a person. It's amazing.
By the day of the launch, after weeks of anticipation, the eager contestants had been fully briefed, apart from one secret: the mission of the show.
I was the first contestant to actually arrive. As I was sitting there, because I think we're quite near Heathrow Airport, all the planes were going overhead, and I was just sitting there thinking, oh shit, I'm really going places. I'm really going to be going somewhere. This is amazing. Like, why else would they pick us so close to an airport? We're definitely going somewhere.
Yes, I'm having a
Again, the contestants were on camera from the moment they arrived.
Well, basically, I saw the advertisement for to raise your profile, and I thought that'd be an interesting thing to do, as I would one day hopefully maybe like to be a TV presenter.
Well, I'm becoming a teacher, and I thought that's a pretty set out career plan. I wanted to do something kind of different before I embarked on 40 years and then retirement.
Madness. Actually, I needed some adventure.
Yeah, if only I had the money.
The hopes of every contestant were pinned on this man and the programme he'd devised. Nik Russian planned to co-present as well as produce the series, and he'd already recorded this introduction.
If only I had the money. You know, money is the biggest obstacle on the way to personal freedom. If you can sort that one out, you are laughing. To that end, I found 30 people nuts enough to do something seriously bizarre. We're going to take money on at its own game, and we're going to win.
The contestants have no idea what Nik has planned for them. As instructed, they arrive penniless, believing that food and accommodation will be taken care of.
I'm Troy. Troy.
I'm Lucy.
Nice to meet you.
Debbie's team is the first to find out the challenge of the show.
Welcome to reality. I'm here with Team 1, who have only just met and been briefed. Nik was saying to me, just explain to them what's going to be happening and break the news to them. And I actually had to turn around and say, well, can somebody break the news to me, please? Okay, what is their challenge? Their challenge is to basically make £1 million. Simple as that. They have empty pockets. They are starting completely from scratch, and they can do anything they want. They can make this money any way they choose.
You are kidding me. You are absolutely kidding me. How the hell are we going to do that? I was like, if we could make £1 million, why would we be here? We're going to make £1 million.
Maria figures out what's going on.
So we've got to make our own money then, basically. We've got to make our own.
Each team must make £1 million to win 100,000 each.
Oh my goodness me. And then by this time, other people were turning up, and I was like, go on, tell them.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
They said
You are kidding me.
With rights young people, with many talents.
Well, speak for yourself. I'm not too bright. I'm on this show.
Yeah.
Team 3 are the last to be told.
Best way to make it £1 million. It's completely what I didn't expect. You know, first of all, I thought, okay, that's sort of calmed myself down. I thought, well, think positively, because basically, they you know, in the contract it states that they will aid you as much as possible so that you can achieve your goals. I thought, okay, well, we've got accommodation, they're going to give us leisure money, and they're going to give us some kind of guidance. So just relax, you know.
Are you aware of your ultimate goal in this?
Oh, I'm still in a bit of shock. I've got to have a proper think about it. I didn't know what to expect, but this is just, wow, it's dumbfounding. And then I looked across, and I hadn't even met the other contestant, and he was paging through some yellow magazine. I said, what are you doing? So he said, oh no, I'm looking for accommodation. I said, why? And he said, we don't have accommodation. And I thought, but, you know, I thought to myself, we don't have any, you know, we weren't allowed to bring any money, and we don't have accommodation, you know, and I was like...
I've actually started this reality television show, and one of our first tasks is to find accommodation for my group for the first week, free of charge.
We could all get a Wolfenstein and live in a spa for a week.
Say that again?
What's your name?
We can live in a house spa.
Let me just find my flatmate. I'm going to check if it's fine with them, okay? And yeah, she can sort us out for today. That's it, and then we need to work out a plan from tomorrow morning.
Exactly.
In the spirit of the show, Louise takes her team back to the house she's just moved out of so that they can discuss what to do.
Okay, I've got a house which I've been converting the loft. If Louise is the only girl in the team, she can share my daughter's bedroom, which is an ensuite bedroom, and you can be in the lap of luxury you want, and all the fellas can be up in the loft.
I'm fine with that.
They just thought I was very negative. They were like, you know, I think you're just a bit upset now, Louise, and you know, let's just look at this from another angle, you know. And I was like, no, this is not what any of us were expecting.
With no money even for a cup of coffee, Debbie's team are still looking for somewhere dry to sit and make plans.
We've got a lot to talk about. Jesus Christ. Because we turned up and, you know, I'd given up everything. I thought this was all part of it. I just didn't cross my mind to think it could just be a total sham.
Let's just make it a bit clearer who we are and where we are. We're with Team 2 at the launch of Team 2. Woo! Yeah! Yeah, baby! Even in the rain, that's really good, that's really good.
I was still trying to remain enthusiastic. This is my chance of a lifetime. I wasn't going to be a wimp about it, and I was going to do my best.
Okay, we've run into a few problems. There's a member of the team missing, and that's something that this team needs to find another member.
Do we have to have another member?
Yes.
But if people leave throughout the day, if they have too much, like 6 months, do we then have to replace them?
Get to know each other a little bit and really suss out what kind of...
Not everyone is as upbeat as Lucy.
So it could be very much to your advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm complete blank at the moment. I think I'm just in shock, really. So,
I will think of something tonight, man. We're dry and fed. Probably slept a bit.
yeah. I still think we're in trouble.
This is also dawning on the camera crew. All unpaid trainees, they know no more than the contestants. Yet they too continue to try and make it work.
Okay, everybody's been briefed now on what they're about to do for the rest of their 12 months. We're going to be back here next year with £1 million.
Yay! And more!
We've just got to figure a way of doing it.
We hope so.
What none of them knows is that despite their enthusiasm, there is no television show, except in the mind of Nik Russian. The launch day is a shambles. One of the cameramen has access to the flat he'd given up for a year. His team take refuge there, and he continues filming.
I would do anything if I've got food and shelter. You can send me out.
It's not dawned on me to stop, put my camera away. You've still got the reality of what happens in these shows. They've put together this group of people in these strange circumstances. You know, we're still making something here.
A week to consider it.
Unaware there is no show, the contestants try to work out how they can complete their mission.
Provided for throughout the year.
That's
I
right.
hope we ask a man to worry about his basic needs, food, shelter, clothing, and become a millionaire. You see something, and you're hoping, even though it's bad now, there will be some sort of silver lining behind the dark cloud. And you just kept pressing, thinking that if you do this, if you stuck together, if you did not abandon this, it would turn out good.
Debbie's team have finally found temporary shelter in a friend's flat.
Hi. This is my friend Nikki. We can go anywhere. We can do anything. We can go anywhere. We have to make $1 million. So we have to sit down and decide. Well, that's it. That's why we're here. We have to sit down and make some decisions what we're going to do.
By a strange coincidence, their host recognises the name Nik Russian.
They mentioned the name Nik Russian, and it's quite an unusual name, and I realised, and I said to one of the, I think it was Debbie, you know, I've heard that name, what does he look like? And the people in the group described him to me, and I said, I think that guy works in the same place I do, which is at a bookstore.
We work together.
And weird.
So the three of us, but he only works part-time, and then Kat's just finished.
He works at Waterstone. What, Nik Russian, yeah?
How weird is that? How weird is that?
Didn't that set off alarm bells to you?
It did, but then I thought, well, I know a production company may not have that much money because they make the films and then they sell the ideas to Channel 4. So yeah, it did. But then you try and kid yourself through it. So.
You all get out your lives.
All the contestants disperse for the night, but Louise has had enough and demands a meeting with Nik.
I've been given all these false promises, travelling around the world, contracts, had to get medical certificates, give up my flat, give up my job. I was told to do this, and I was going to be provided with accommodation, leisure money, financial structure, and I've just found out that that does not exist. And I want to query, and I've spoken to Nik on a personal level, and he's told me that everything is secured, so I'm just very, very angry, and I want to actually speak to him and find out what the hell is going on.
I think the best thing, should we go and sit down together?
Yeah, let's sit down, because I'm just...
And despite everything, I think this is the moment to stop.
I said, what were you thinking? I said, I've given up my flat, I've given up my job, I've done, you know, I've spent a lot of money in the process, and there doesn't seem like there's any backing behind this whatsoever. I said, you've ruined my life right now. I mean, I'm absolutely, I don't know what to do next, you know. He said, yeah, but he says, you know, basically if you're given an opportunity, you can do anything. I said, I thought, God, this guy's actually a bit mad, you know. And I said to him, I don't even want to look at you anymore. And I walked away. I'm not happy. I couldn't believe that someone can lie to so many people like that. I was like numb for like 3 days. I was like, you know, my mom said to me, just take the week off, don't even think about it, and then next week start all over again. So that was that.
Some of the contestants have forced Nik to meet them and explain the situation. Although he continues to reassure them about his plans, they begin to suspect that he has tricked them.
He basically, by then, not admitted, but it came out that there wasn't a TV show, but he still said, I'll get my marketing team to put together the footage that we've got, and I'll get my sales team to promote that to TV companies, and, you know, we'll use that as a pilot.
Meeting up with the sales people tonight, if we could put together, out of the footage we've got, the back footage we've got that we shot prior to this, we could, I think possibly by the end of tomorrow, have the promotional film together, and we can tout that. I can get a couple of people behind that, and we can tout that up.
as fast as we can.
I think this is where people started to feel like perhaps this really wasn't going to happen. We still all wanted something to happen, we'd still all turned up, but I think where everyone was probably hungry as well, just feelings were running really, really low at this point.
All disbanding for tonight, and our main priority, each and every one of us, is to go out and find somewhere for us all to stay and build a base. How do I feel about it? A bit disappointed, but still positive. And hopefully one of us is going to find somewhere for us all.
But they can't go on. Exhausted and defeated by the truth, for teams 1 and 3, it is over. Maria's team are still together, still holed up in Tim's flat, when they learn that the major TV series has shrunk to a tiny pilot.
This guy's a joke. Sorry.
They were scrimping on food and everything. It's just like... And even
Angry, but reluctant to give up on their dreams of TV stardom, they decide to set up their very own video diary room. Tim, the cameraman, makes the first entry.
Oh, well, it is on. It's still recording.
Okay.
Tim Eagle's video diary. It's just gone all pants up. I'm still with it because this is what I want to do. I want to learn how to be a cameraman.
it was my dream come true, I thought. I thought I was going to be a presenter on TV. I've had to leave and sacrifice a lot to come away in this. I could have been a dancer in the Commonwealth Games. I had a boyfriend.
I don't know why I'm still here. Everyone's really nice, can't complain about that, but I must be mad.
Right now I am not totally conclusive on what I'm going to do. I think I'll go along with whatever the group wants to do for now, as long as it doesn't cost me anything else, because I have sacrificed a lot, and we'll see how it goes from here. Can't promise anything though. Later.
Under the spell of the camera, they begin to improvise their own reality TV show.
We continued filming, and we began to realise that even if the original concept had fallen apart, that maybe we had something that we could make ourselves anyway.
I thought we've got such a good group here. The energy's like amazing. I said, if there's one thing this guy's done right, is get a good group together.
We all just want to be on TV, don't we?
Yeah! We've got something here, you know, like this is a TV show by itself. I was saying to everybody, this is a show already.
Big Brother, which they watch nightly, offers more than entertainment. It becomes their Bible.
We were this perfect group of reality TV show contestants because we're all beautiful. Everybody's good looking, you know, and kind of nice, presentable, and you know, and trying to deal with what's happening with us. It's a chance to come into the Big Brother house. That's what everybody there was dreaming about, being involved in making it.
The rules are over, so we can now do this. Hey, are you watching us? What do you think?
This is...
The contestants have taken over.
I've been sort of... Here we are on reality TV, and I'm Nik Russian. This is my co-presenter. This is back to me.
But the fake producer still isn't out of the picture. In a bizarre end to a strange day, he returns to spend the night with the contestants he has tricked.
You're on reality TV.
He sort of asked him if he could kip on the floor because he hasn't actually got a place to stay. He's put himself in exactly the same position as us, giving up his flat, giving up everything, you know, and he's got nowhere to stay. And I sort of said, hold on, you're the producer.
Nik tries to ingratiate himself with the team by joining in their games. Not everyone is happy to have him there, but Tim keeps a lid on things.
Look, I didn't want to have a row in my house, basically, and so I made sure that it still came through me, and that, you know, whatever you're doing, you're not going to go ballistic in my place.
My question is, does Tim deserve a medal for conduct in the face of adversity? Yes, is the answer. He does that to everyone.
Do you find it odd that this man, who was meant to be your producer, who had not delivered the programme that he said he was going to deliver, now was happy to spend nights sleeping on the floor?
Completely out of, you know, the ordinary, just completely just strange and weird. And he put a woolly hat on to go to bed.
The next day, when Nik leaves the flat, the contestants decide to break their story to the media and contact a local TV station. Their primary motive is to drum up interest in their show, but they're also hoping to name and shame Nik.
Yeah, they're going to show up at 9:30 tomorrow morning with their film crew.
They're going to be on TV at last.
Fuck, we're gonna get out really early.
After another night in Tim's flat, Nik Russian finds himself locked in. He's not aware that a news crew is about to arrive. All he knows is that the contestants' anger has finally reached boiling point.
Right about now, nobody has made you accountable for any of this. I don't believe that you ever had negotiations with Channel 4. How can you play with people's lives and not even have a flipping pilot in place? You should have taken 4 or 5 of your mates, you know, that were willing to help you out, because this is an experiment and you're playing with people's lives. Why didn't you do a pilot with some of your mates?
Because we couldn't get people to do that.
You couldn't get anyone to agree to it, Nik.
It's not like you're just fucking with people's lives, you're fucking with their dreams, which I personally think is worse.
That's like satanic to do something like that.
People wanted to start families with that money. People wanted to launch careers on that money. People wanted to put deposits down for houses so they can start to settle down and stuff. But people's dreams, that's like sacred that you're fucking with.
Yeah, it is.
Cool, completely.
You know, I intended to start this part of my career and start my life.
But don't want to hear about you.
Well.
You're a very selfish man.
The news crew arrives, and the charm of TV works even on Nik. He agrees to be interviewed. For some of the contestants, it's a moment to savour.
That'll be my vengeance. I just want to show him what it is to really be on the telly. You know, this is a cameraman, real cameraman, and he's going to film you and make some television with you. Nik, you know, wake up. This is the real world, sort of thing. You know.
Even now, Nik continues to spin his stories.
I put together a pilot for a very scaled down version of the show, which we want to get in front of the same companies and other companies who we were talking to before.
I do feel that he was more interested and concerned by himself. The fact that his project had gone wrong. Okay. He was a what about me kind of person, you know, and that was just unforgivable.
So what's their reception to you been like? It can't be great sleeping in the same room, it's the same flat as 10 of your fellow contestants.
No, I've just been called satanic.
Do you think Nik was play acting?
Yeah, I do. And I would stop and I would say to somebody, do you think he's enjoying this? Actually, I think he's enjoying this.
What's the reception been like? Just trying to get a bit more than satanic, it's a bit of a shorter.
I'm a figure of hate now, and I think rightly so. I don't know really what else to say.
Okay, that would be nice. Thank you very much, Peter.
Nik left the flat after this interview. For him, the game was up. But he left behind this strange video diary.
Basically.
Reality Bites, the game show wannabes who never got off the ground.
Some people will do anything to get on the telly. This lot did. Now penniless and homeless, they're sleeping on a floor in Dalston. If you think they're miserable, just take a look at this guy, the man who set up the whole cock-up.
I'm a figure of hate now, and I think rightly so.
We've just been on the news. We had London.
And doesn't it just? Oh, guys, my landlady says it looks like a real idiot. Just in the state of him.
After everything, they were on TV, and it turned them into local heroes.
We're off to see a management company now.
When we walked through the market, people were like, oh, hello, mate, how you doing? How's it going? Has he got you anything yet? And we were like famous in Dalston.
This moment of fame lifted their spirits.
I tell you what, this is wicked. I'm so pleased. It's wicked, man. Check it out. Weird. I'm feeling all right now. Somebody... that was a farting machine, that wasn't me, okay? I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. It's so weird. We're happy, it's fun. We get dropped from a really high height and we feel awful, disappointed. We want to murder Nick. How dare he do this to us? I can't believe this! It was kind of like a short-lived thing. It's like when you eat a chocolate bar and you feel good for 5 minutes and then you just feel, again. It was one of those, quick fix, euphoria things. We've exposed him on TV and what have you. But then at the end of the day, I think we realised that, that was probably it. It was a 5-minute thing and it really wasn't going to get anybody anywhere.
And people were starting like, okay, we've got to face up to reality now, like this is all too real now. We've got to go home. We've got to tell our parents.
Because I can't undo
it. Did feel like we were giving up and, but by that time we knew we were clutching at straws. We knew that no production company was just going to come and take us off and snap us up and send us somewhere, so we felt like we were kidding ourselves.
Come on, we haven't got much time left.
Lucy, get off the phone.
After 5 days in Tim's flat, they finally gave up. But it wasn't over. As they walked out of the picture, Channel 4 walked in for the first time.
What I find so most amazing, really, is that it hasn't stopped. That's the most amazing thing, that you guys are here doing this.
It was Debbie who phoned the makers of this programme with the story of the faked show. And it was at this stage that we began filming the contestants, as they faced the embarrassment of telling friends and family that it had all gone wrong.
I left it an entire week before I even phoned. I mean, although I did speak to my mum or my dad or my cousins, every time the phone went and I picked up the phone and it was like, oh, hiya, how are you doing? How's it going? And screaming down the phone and, really going on and saying, have they let you have a break? Oh my God, where are you? I felt really excited and I never got a chance to say, well, no, this is where I am now and this is what's happened, but I never got the chance.
So I was quite embarrassed. I'd had a big leaving do on the Saturday night before I went to New Cross. So it took me a couple of weeks to pluck up the courage to speak to my friends again.
You felt almost guilty for coming back, and when you came back, you didn't feel like people were happy to see you either. They were, even though they were, you just didn't. You wanted this. You were supposed to come back to this massive reception after a year, and then you're coming back after a week to people going, "Oh well, come on, just go and get another job." And time to get a job. You know what you need to do, don't you, Marie? And you're like, "Yes, I know what I need to do."
I've tried to put it behind me so much because I felt so stupid, so guilty, and. Am I this person that, was selfish and went off and was just thinking about myself?
In my mind, I'd gone away to challenge myself as a person, to then a couple of days' time ring up and go, I need help, was really, really quite difficult because I felt like it had then dragged them into something.
Like many of the contestants, Debbie has ended up at her parents' home, sleeping in her childhood single bed, while she tries to rebuild her life. Meanwhile, the man who caused the chaos has disappeared. But some of the contestants won't leave it there. They want to track him down.
Nick, I don't know if he knows what sort of stress he caused on everybody, but I wish we could find him. I really do wish we could find him.
With the collapse of the show, the priority for most of the contestants is finding jobs and homes. But some feel unable to move on until they know the full story. To do that, they have to find Nick.
My name is Daniel. I'm trying to get in contact with an ex-employee of yours. His name is Nik Russian.
Louise tries to phone Nick, but his numbers have been disconnected.
No answer.
In search of fresh leads, she goes back to the island where the auditions were held. It was, after all, the slick professionalism of the auditions that had made it seem so real.
Okay, this is definitely the room we had the auditions in. When I look at it now, I just think, oh, what a joke. Like, you know, I can't believe I was involved in this thing.
She discovers how Nik got to use such an impressive venue.
Apparently Nik didn't pay for anything. He did a barter deal basically for advertising space. Basically what he said is he'd film, you know, here at the Ravensdale Island, and you know, in their pilots he'd obviously get some advertising in for Ravensdale Island and things like that. So, you know, they weren't paid at all, so it was just another sort of thing where he blagged his way through it.
Nik is proving hard to find. Daniel's searches lead him to addresses scattered across London.
I'm looking for Nik Russian.
Nik Russian, no. Doesn't live here.
Hello, is Nik around?
No, he hasn't lived there for about half a year.
He hasn't lived here for half a year.
At a house share in southeast London, Nik is remembered, but not fondly.
Hello?
He ran over quite a big phone bill and then he left.
Not a phone bill.
Yeah. So he's not very popular here, to be honest with you.
What was it again?
He was studying English. He was in the English department at Goldsmith College.
Okay, Goldsmith.
Goldsmith.
Oh, Goldsmith, okay. Goldsmith College, English major. Do you know how far he got with that?
I think he left before the exams.
Louise is following a different lead. We trace the phone number for NRP Productions to an address in Farnham, Surrey. The number's been disconnected, so Louise visits the house, hoping to speak to Margaret, the woman who'd answered her many phone calls.
Hi, is Margaret here?
She is.
Can I have a chat to her?
Without.
It's Louise Miles. I just wanted to have a chat to her. I'd spoken to her on the phone before.
She discovers that the house belongs to Nik's parents, and that Margaret, the woman in the office, is in fact his mother. Although they're reluctant to discuss their son and claim they have little knowledge of his project, Louise does get some answers.
I said, well, what does he do for a living? I said, does he own a production company? And they said, no, not at all. And I said, well, what does he do? He goes, well, he works to earn his living, and then they weren't going to tell me much more about that.
She also asks about his unusual name.
Nik Russian's not his real name. They weren't going to tell me what his real name was, but apparently he changed it about 6 years ago, quite legally and everything.
Some weeks later, we learn the full story of Nik's name change.
He's originally Keith Gillard. He changed it when he was about early 20s. He changed it to Jack Lister, and I think he went off it and later on changes it to Nik Russian.
Mike is Nik's oldest friend and has known him since childhood.
He has the ability to make things look very good, you know, so he would be able to, I guess, take people's confidence. I never actually thought it's something that he would do to me because I know him so well, but he's just obviously done it in a slightly different way.
We met Mike when we checked out the South London address Nik had given for his fake production company. It was actually Mike's home. Nik had used it without his friend's knowledge.
The first letters I got for his project, we actually got rid of them because I thought they were sent to the wrong address. He'd sent these sort of false names, and then more letters came through, and it was for like NRP Productions, and I phoned him up and said, you can't do that. This is, you know, it looks like I'm running a business from my address.
All the same, Nik persuaded Mike to help out at the auditions, operating a small video camera.
It was a total farce. There was an audience of auditioners, and there's this girl he got to act as a presenter, and she introduced people who were filming and these runners and a psychological assessor who was his girlfriend, who, as far as I'm concerned, he'd met doing an access course for English. You know, she's got no training in that field. And later on in the day, you've got the runners going up to him and going, oh, can I do the psychological assessing for now?
Did you ever say to him, But you're not a producer.
You'd say to him, you know, you're pretending to be a TV producer, and he'd say, oh, I am producing a TV programme, therefore I am a TV producer. But at that time I didn't know how much he was lying to some of the people. Or lying. He never lied. He didn't mention certain facts. He'd been very manipulative, to me too.
Because that's the whole nature of the game, and we're selecting these people.
At the time of the auditions, a director had been taken on. He too became uncomfortable with Nick's deceptions.
I mean, a couple of times I did say a few things that I was told not to.
What sort of things were they?
Well, just the fact that we didn't have a commission and we were just the truth, really. You know, I just sort of thought, well, can't we just sort of like tell everybody the truth, that we're trying to make a programme, we don't have a commission, and if we all pull together it might work.
Look at this, which I find
David also had doubts about the feasibility of the programme.
If we've got 10 people doing a year each, that's 10 man years of work.
Yeah.
One person working 10 years. It must be feasible for one person working for 10 years to be able to create £1 million.
That's why I was always saying, let's do a pilot that doesn't tie anybody up or commit anybody, apart from me and you. See how it goes then, and wait until we're in such a position as to put the thing into full production. That was always my whole point, you know. He didn't really take it on board. He was just really wanting to go into this full production or nothing kind of attitude. And that's why I wasn't involved with it in the end, and that's why I left it.
If only I had the money.
David quit soon after the auditions. But before he left, he shot this footage.
Are you laughing? Are you laughing? Are you laughing?
I think there are times in his life when he's been a fantasist. This is the first time I think he's done anything as crazy as this. Well, he has tried to set up businesses before, which I can't really tell you much about. It's a time I wasn't really in contact with him. But he wasn't doing that in such a sort of dishonest manner. And probably the failure of that prompted him to think that the way ahead was pretending something you're not. He did say why he wanted to do it. He said that it was because he's 25 now, and he feels that he's not where he wants to be. He didn't want to do it the conventional way, I don't think.
It's all about the money. What if somebody could offer you a way out of that? It's not the 9 to 5 thing. That's not viable at all. It's not even that secure. It's a drip feed. No, the way out is to get in, make as much cash as you can, as fast as you can, and get out again. Know when to stop.
After the auditions, Mike had nothing more to do with Nick's project. But when it collapsed, Nick got in touch again.
We got this call and he said, can you record London tonight and meet me at Waterloo Station? When we meet him, he is not in a good state at all. I mean, I saw him, he was smoking a cigarette, like shaking, stuff like that, really kind of in a bad way. We took him to a pub and he told us what he'd done. He actually told us kind of what I realise now were edited highlights of what he'd done, but he told us essentially what he'd done. And my first thought is for myself, you know, because these people have got my address. I'm going to end up with a bunch of refugee game show contestants banging on my door, demanding to speak to TV producers that don't exist.
How do you feel about him now?
Well, he's affected the security of my home. He's used my address to ruin lots of people's lives. And I feel really let down, really.
It's a feeling shared by all the contestants. But today, for Daniel at least, there might be some satisfaction. 2 months after Nick disappeared, we've tracked him down to a cul-de-sac in a London suburb.
Hello, Nick.
Yes, can I help?
Hi, it's me, Daniel.
Oh, hello.
Do you remember me?
Yes, I do, of course.
Okay, may I have a word with you? So you're coming out. Okay.
Is there anybody else involved in this? Yes, there is.
Yeah, the thing is, Nick, there is a camera crew here. We spent months looking for you. But Nick,
A few minutes later, Nick emerges.
No. No, Nick.
This is not the right time.
I understand what's happening there, Nick, but Nick, you realize that you've affected 30 people's lives. You realize that people are still homeless because of what you did.
Yes, I'm still homeless because of this.
the whole setup. Was there even an office? Does NRP exist?
No.
It doesn't. There's no company such as NRP.
That's correct.
The addresses in New Cross, the ones that you had the letter sent to, your friends that you had the letter sent to, your mother answered the phone. You never told us this. We think we had the right to know all this from the start before we got into this.
Right.
You tricked us, you purposely tricked us into this thing. Without a hope of it succeeding, you had no sponsors. Up to the day, you had no sponsors, you had nothing. And what were you expecting, just us to wander off and make £100,000 living like vagrants on the street, had nowhere to live? How is that feasible? How is that possible? You gave us no information. Every time I don't know about others, every time I called you, you gave me the runabout. I trusted you, man. A lot of people trusted you. You've let us down.
Yeah,
and you have a lot of explaining to do. What do you have to say, Nick?
Sorry, it's nowhere close enough. You said it. My apology, which meaning and meant was pathetic. If I had it in my power to compensate everybody, then of course I would.
Right now, I'm really fighting the urge to punch you. I have to be honest with you. I'm really fighting that urge because I'm extremely angry. I've been used. You owe me, man. You owe 30 people a lot. You owe us more than explanations. You owe us financially. People aren't just going to give up their lives and walk away and think, oh, that didn't work out. Let's try something new. You are going to be pursued.
Nick refuses to answer any more questions, and he turned down our offer of a full interview.
Everything that we believed was real. He just confirmed that it wasn't. There was no production office, there was no sponsorship, there was nothing. There was just Nick and his idea to make some money. And he used us. And it's not every day you get to speak to someone who could have potentially ruined your entire life and the lives of 30 other people. And I still feel very, very angry.
This was our big break, you know? And it was so strange, such a strange experience to have your friends touch you differently because they can sense that closeness of your fame, you know.
We're cool, we've done it, we've succeeded.
I mean, I would never go for one of these reality TV shows again, and yeah, basically all I want to do now is just get myself settled again, you know.
There is an air of cynicism about me now. I tend to look at things through slightly jaded eyes, which isn't a nice feeling to have, and I really wish this hadn't happened to me.
Nick, he has not suffered really. He's just gone back to his old life, whatever that may have been. And he may just try this again. There's nothing stopping him from doing this again.
Reality TV, great TV or fake TV? If you would like to make a comment about this or any other programme on any channel, then go to channel4.com/thinktv. Rather appropriately, Faking It, tomorrow night at 9, has a computer tester trying to convince everyone he's a racing driver.